Hey, welcome to Project EXO. It's actually second birthday, so the reason I'm making the video here. But you don't want to see my ugly mug. Let's just get into the game. Due to having to make train in the editor, I'm gonna have to actually play it in the editor, but we'll play it as maximized there, and go through everything that we kind of see here and everything that I've done over the last 2 years. So login splash will just be just the splash screen kind of thing. We have either host or select right here, not character selection, and then character selection here. So you go host and server, then you come into character selection, which would be this one. So I just have those in reverse. Then we come into the game. So we've actually going to come in as a host here. So welcome to the ship. I don't know if you've seen what it looks like or what have you. The first thing you probably notice is the skybox in the background. It's a procedural skybox that I'll be able to change to make atmosphere and backgrounds for the ship and all sorts of things. But that's actually just an asset. I'm going to be buying the full asset for that. But we'll start with kind of what you see here. The first thing you see is a little pile of gold over here, then a sphere and uh, an element, acetane. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this acetane. It's actually what enemies will be dropping will be different elements that will help in crafting, which we'll go show. I'll go show you in a minute here. And this is crafting recipe. We'll have to do that inside of the editor because I have to give it proper data. But we can pick it up. It'll just come through as like a nothing in the list. And then we have gold here, so we'll pick that up. And all three of these are working. So we do have that working. So we can go into our inventory, which I hit I for. And it's the money's in there. And this is net code, so there will be more than one player. You can have multiple players coming through here and doing their thing. So that's saved in netcode value is what I'm trying to say there. So if we're looking at the windows, we might as well look at some more here. So we'll look at my stat window. I don't know if you've so we have the classic attributes. It's a mashup between quite a few games. Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3, EverQuest, World of Warcraft. We have some Path of Exile and Diablo 3 elements kind of all here in the window. So I'll just run through them quickly, but not too quickly that you can't hear me. So agility, energy shield, charisma, strength, stamina, wisdom, run speed, parry chance, dodge chance, block chance, health regeneration, spell critical chance, mana regeneration, spell critical damage, spell hit chance, health, mana, melee damage, armor, attack range, health leech, attack speed, regeneration interval, damage reflection, melee critical chance, melee critical damage, melee hit chance, mana leech, and spell damage. Then we have up here resists, which are actually which you'll use to resist the other enemies, which are the worlds themselves you'll be landing on here, because you're not going to be fighting demons from Ray class or demons from Hell. I mean, or in Ray class, you're going to be fighting on exoplanets, the surface of random planets that are generated. So you'll need atmospheric pressure resist, EMP resistance, and these are space and time was the old format. It's going to be hot and cold resistance, solar radiation resistance, wind resistance, and gamma radiation resistance because you'll need those resistance values when you're landing on planets that are really close to their sun and have harsh values and stuff as you're running around. And then what you saw originally is it's based off of an old school system that World of Warcraft got rid of, which is why I think their game has failed right after Classic all the way through. And having weapon skills and spell skills, so you higher your weapon and spell skills, the better damage you're going to be doing output. All of these character slots do work. The on-click events are running. We can put on equipment and get equipment on the character, which will then affect your stats appropriately. We have a quest window, which I haven't really done anything more than splash on. We have a mini map of sorts, which will be local to being on the planet. What else we got here? So that's my crafting window, but we'll go to the vendor and look at it here, but we have this to look at as well. So we'll come over here, you have your stash tab and your stash where you can deposit and withdraw money into your bank, and that will have save it for you. So when if on death, when you lose a percentage, you're not going to lose that value that's there. And all of these different tabs do work and are working. So your stash is all good. This is still kind of some old news from last year, but we're coming into some newer stuff here. So these vendors, the ones in pink are not working. Well, they're working, but they're not working. So we have the consumable vendor. Then we have weapon vendor, which I have to actually put inventories together for. And then armor vendor. This one here is gambling. This one's fun. So this I just put like a little mini Powerball thing together here. So your chances of winning, what you're gonna win, you can pick the numbers yourself and put them in, or you can just quick pick, and we'll bring that down here, and just buy a bunch of tickets because we have the gold. You can see my gold's going down because I'm buying. It's one gold cost each. So we're just gonna buy all my gold, and then it's gonna be a draw hourly or daily or some interval. But I can just click draw the numbers, and it'll show you what kind of hits you got, how well you did. So we almost doubled our money with those lottery tickets and what they are. So it displays what they are. You can also, before it's drawn, you can actually go through the tickets and look specifically at the different tickets. So that's a quick little gambling window. Then we have up here, whoop, so it looks like a jukebox, and this looks like a frog, but this is a my crafting vendor. So the recipe that we picked up that is just blank, we choose here, will be blank and blank across the board. But it changes that, and I'll have to do some work on getting a create item button and have the item be deposited out and stuff like that. So those elements that we did gather will be useful in. So that does work. There it is. It is being deposited in there. This guy over here is a crafting vendor. So if you have obscene amounts of gold, you can come in here and you can buy the different elements from the vendor. So you could just do, rhodium. You want 5 of them. What it'll do is it'll calculate how much it's going to cost, and you can buy and sell those. So it's actually that's a bug that I just noticed. If this isn't a negative value after buying, it's not going to convert those over. So I have some work to do with that. So probably look at the interface that you see on the screen. So we are in a netcode environment, so it'll I have this one more for me than anything else. That'll probably not be in the game. But it's saying the server started, player 0 connected to the network, and that there's one player connected. And yeah, it'll log all the different network connections that are happening and stuff in that window, so I can see that things are working properly. Chat, it does work. So you can go, hey, and chat back and forth with other people. So that does work. I will be hooking up combat because I want to have a death recap, so you know what hit you and why you died, to give you some context. So there's that. Let's see here. We showed you inventory. We showed you quests. We showed you that. Do have a panel here that has the different settings, some sayings, some settings, just kind of some stuff to kind of hold the place for me as far as what I need there. Um, so the next part I'm going to actually show is the interface. So the experience bar that you see down here is just kind of a little tiny bar. It does work. The enemies do give experience. However, the enemies are currently broken. I do need to get them over to being owned by the server and being populated on the world, which we'll go to in a minute there. What I'm gonna do is I gotta minimize to show a couple of these things off here. There we go. Okay, so what I'm drawing your attention to is the health and the mana that you're seeing on the screen here. And I do need to make this a little bigger so I can read it, because there's current energy. So what I've done, networks client current energy should be current mana. There we go. That's the one we want. So you'll see I've made the health and mana max health. No, where is it? That should be the one. Should be reducing over here. Let's see in it. Current health. There we go. That's the one we want. So what it does is it put eclipse. The less health you have, the less it is. We do have a text on screen showing that you've lost health. Scrolling combat text. I lost the name of it there for a second. It's what you're seeing here is actually the very early beginnings of a auction house. That's what you're seeing there. We'll just turn that off. So yeah, we have the worlds to look at. So you want to travel to a world so you can go and visit it, see what's going on, see what kind of creatures might be there, defeat enemies, so on and so forth. To do that, you're gonna have to go through this next interface, which I would like to have as a ship interface. But here it is. It's a little overwhelming because there is a lot of data associated with it. But this is how I'm gonna determine how the skybox is gonna look, how the world is going to be constructed, and how the terrain generator will work. So basically, it all revolves around a star. Some of the data, a lot of this data is calculated through equations. Some of it is made up, and it's not exactly perfect, but it's pretty close. So we're looking at a class F star, Anthony. And the star is will have a chance at appearing as the same chance of appearing in real life. So if you look in the night sky, there's going to be class M's a lot more than anything else, but we are lucky enough to get a class F. Size, it has density, luminosity, solar mass, temperatures, radiated energy, age, star volatility, solar wind strength, field strength, rotation, percentage of hydrogen, helium, and metals. Metals is important for determining how many planets it gets. Ultraviolet rays, X rays, gamma rays, visible light, infrared, and radio waves. So all of those different values for that particular star, which drive how many planets are around the star, where the hot zone is, cold zone, and different calculations that happen behind the ground. But then what you want to do is you want to say, okay, let's look at some of these planets here. I want to look at this high scene one because it reminds me of the movie Interstellar, where they're landing on a completely dominated by water. So we'll take a look at it here. So it has oxygen 18%, which is good but not perfect. You want like 20% for perfect. So densities not bad. Water has liquid water is true. Runaway greenhouse fall, stable greenhouse is true. So definitely a habitable candidate for a really nice planet that you can wander around. It's going to look lush and nice. So winds, surface pressure, has helium rain, day and night difference, temperature, surface temperature in Kelvin and Fahrenheit and all that good stuff. Geothermal heat, if there's geothermal activity, does it have tectonic activity? Does it have a magnetic field? How much magnetic field is? Does it have water? Also, planetary values. We have mass, radius, which gives it density, gives it gravity, radiation, rotation speed of 37 hours, inclination 20.57%, tidally locked, false, albedo. Albedo is reflective quality, 4.482, so half dominated by cloud cover. And it's a high scene planet, so it would be dominated, and it's 100% water coverage. There is no land there at all, so it would be hydra creatures and different things that you'd be running into that are associated with that. But orbital values, distance from the sun, 0.216. Orbital period of 998.71 days. It's in the Goldilocks zone. So it's a pretty nice little world. You have to have floating platforms if you live there, but that is a good world. So what I want to do is I want to save this data and put this data into, um, or just save the data and then pass it on to the terrain systems and other systems that we run into here, which is kind of running in editor mode. That's why I'm having to do it like this. But you can come out here and go to the world. So the world does exist. The skybox in the background, same as kind of where it's default. It's actually the skybox is on the character, so I might need to move that around, or refer to it differently in some way to get it working. But there you go. So I want those values to be input in here so we can change the world and the way it looks. Have enemies input in here, have them owned by the server, so when the player picks up gear, it'll get equipped on the character, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's kind of the world generation system as it stands. I don't have the two systems communicating yet, but once I get this system to a spot where they can communicate well and transfer the qualities and transfer the information that I want, then at that point I'll be able to make a full on build and have a good build, a chance at making a build. But right now it's just kind of running in an editor. So there is that. This might throw an error right here. Yeah, so there is an enemy um, improperly spawned. Don't ever do what I just did because it really messes with netcode. So I had the player spawn in the enemy, which may seem pretty inconspicuous, but it broke an ass. So I can come over here. I can actually wow, that was a quick attack. My attack speed's off the chart at 100. So I can kill the enemy and get rid of it and stuff like that. So there is that interaction that's happening. The enemy, if it did get a proper reference to me, can kill me and I will die. It'll pop up a thing and you can resurrect and come back and stuff like that. This item is not working. What's happening here is the ownership is really screwed if you spawn it in yourself. So you spawn it in yourself and you say to the server, I want you to have ownership. It takes ownership, but it's like, no, you spawned it, so you immediately get ownership back. And it's skipping sections of my script, which is currently making the action of picking up items broken. So that's just kind of the way it is because it's owned by the player. It's missing some of the script and not actually implementing the destruction and adding of it into my inventory. It's just catching the small little piece of the back end. So that's why that's not working. I do have items. Okay, so this is an older version. The enemies are attacking me, coming after me, gonna do damage to my character. But I'm just killing them to get the loot because the loot is randomized. There's uncommon, rare. You see this one here, jewelry amulet. Value 9 move speed, regeneration value of 15, EMP resistance of 7, and space resistance of 10. The different colors of the item is reference to its different levels it rolled on its stat values that it gets. Did it roll crappy and get the lowest level it could, or did it roll an uncommon value or a common value or higher? So that's just kind of a basic randomization I do have of the items there. You'll notice there's a pop up. It's not going to get stuck in the corner or anything like that. So there is randomization of those things. They're just super basic at the moment. But we do have the items being randomized. Those are dropped by the enemy. Yeah, I'm just showing that it's not going to get caught in the corner. So there is some of that functionality as well. It's just obscured by ownership wall. I need to create it before I can get past the ownership wall. But you're seeing here that I can equip stuff onto the character. It is affecting stats. Also, that the inventory is working here in this environment as far as putting the stuff in there and pop-ups working on it and all that good stuff there. So, um, yeah, it has different tabs. So if you go to a different tab, you're going to be able to put different items into it, and it's not going to um, do that. So there you go. That's that. What I would like to do for this upcoming year is uh, get the terrain generator talking to my planet generation system here, where we can travel to different planets and check things out and do all that good stuff. Um, get some of these images, maybe even little baby planets looking there. Um, no atmosphere at all. Yeah, so we connect this system over to the terrain system and the skybox put together so that we can make the worlds feel alive. And then we can go about incorporating storylines and doing other things. We did have the auction house, which I just started a little bit on. Getting some of the hierarchy working on it was kind of where I was at last. So yeah, that's it. I guess thanks for hanging out and joining me with looking at Project EXO here. You have a great afternoon, evening, day, week, year. Have fun. Peace.